Welcome everyone to IPO Market Watch. Consider yourself very lucky, and I mean it, because this YouTube video is going to lay out step by step a specific company which is dirt cheap right now, exactly what this company is, what it does, what it will do, why it's going to work out, and why it's going to make people filthy rich. I mean it, filthy rich. Now those who get in early are never going to regret if they hold long enough. Of course, what I just said is just my opinion. It's what I believe. It's what I mean, I truly stand by it and I believe it, but it's not financial advice for anyone. At the end of the day, you still have to do your own research, your own homework, and decide for yourself. The U.S. mobility sector is changing rapidly. Within the next 8 years, the mobility industry in the United States is going to transform into something brand new, something that does not exist right now, or if it does, it's in its infancy. It will be a multi-trillion-dollar business, and I have already done a YouTube video, 25-30 minute YouTube video, where I analyzed step by step what the change will be for the entire US mobility sector in the United States. Full detailed report. I would urge that you watch it. I'll leave the link for that in the description of this video. In this YouTube video though, we're going to focus on one small, for now, company, which is trading around $5 a share. Why this company is going to work out, in my opinion. I will give facts and proof and research that points to why this company will succeed, why this company will make people filthy rich if they have patience. When you look at what is coming and you can get in early, you're going to make money, and it doesn't take long. I remember when I looked at what was coming with the space sector, and I believed in Rocket Lab. In 2 years after my countless YouTube videos at $4 and $5, Rocket Lab today's sitting at 156 US dollars, you would have been filthy rich. I also had talked about and looked at the AI revolution, and I said that AI, OpenAI and Claude and all these things, NVIDIA and the chips, those are all great, but can they work if they can't transfer the data, right? Can AI work without transferring from point A to point B what it needs to transfer? No. This can be done obviously through space or land and sea cables. And one company that I was talking about was Lumen Technologies, and how it could be and will be part of the backbone of AI. I did a YouTube video when it was $4.42, and Lumen today is at $9.41, all within a few months, already 100% gain. This YouTube video is about Oro Mobility, because now we're going to shift in the new trend. We want to get in early, just like we did with Rocket Lab and Lumen. Now we want to get in early in a new multi-trillion-dollar industry that has yet to take shape, which is great for us who want to get in early and make minimum 100% gains, if not 1,000% gains. The mobility industry as we know it so far is something like this. You can either buy a new car, buy a used car, rent or lease, take a taxi, ride hail, or public transportation, and it's worth billions and billions of dollars. But that's going to change, because we're going to shift from billions to trillions of dollars. Uber came along and revolutionized everything and made the total addressable market and the market cap, if you will, of this sector to increase by many billions of dollars. Had anyone seen what Uber would be and understood it and got in early, today they would be filthy rich. So in my past video, I came out with the US mobility and automotive sector and the future outlook report from 2025 to 2035. A report that I personally worked on for quite a few weeks, and it was a success. It seems like a lot of people liked that report, and they had the chance to fully understand what is going to happen within the next 8 years in the United States, why the classic mobility sector worth billions is going to be worth trillions, what companies will take part, which are the stocks, what each company will do, what the total addressable market for each company will be within the next 8 years, what their revenue projections will be, and so on. So this report, as you can see, in which I did a YouTube video on, gave you complete information in order to understand what steps you want to take now in order to take part in the big change that's going to reward shareholders. For the sake of understanding much easier what is this trillion-dollar business and why we should get in early, let's think about this. The cities. All major cities in the United States in the future will be primarily running on robo-taxis for the most part and ride-hailing human driver taxis. That's going to be the primary part. Within a decade from now, buying a new car probably might be too expensive, more expensive than it is today. There will be more used car sales, rental cars, leasing of cars. And then, like I said, in the big cities, it's going to be predominantly robo-taxis. People will be using that very often. Waymo in 2025 had 400,000 robo-taxi services running per week, and said that it will go to 1 million by the end of 2026, and so on and so on. The compound annual growth rate within the next 8 years for robo-taxis is 92%. But someone has to be able to manage it, because if you can't manage it, the future of this mobility shift, which is happening without our they're not asking us, they're doing it. It's not going to happen if you don't have someone maintaining it. It's the backbone of the mobility sector. And I'm talking about charging. I'm talking about maintenance. I'm talking about staffing. I'm talking about fixing problems. All of that needs to exist. It is the critical backbone of the mobility sector. For now, this backbone can be served by a few various companies, but not many. Uber, which is the platform and the platform of choice for current and future mobility sector. And Uber recently decided they will launch this new robo-taxi service. So Uber invested in, I think it was like 50,000 Lucid vehicles. So that's the hardware, but you need the technology to be placed on those Lucid vehicles, which Uber partnered with Neuro AI. So you get Uber, the platform, you get Lucid, the vehicles, you get Neuro AI, put that together, now you have the robo-taxis ready to go, but they can't really go because they need maintenance, they need staffing, they need to be cleaned at all times. And this is a 24-hour around-the-clock service. So Uber decided to pay and partner with a brand new company that took shape on April 30th of 2026, which is a big deal. For a brand new company to land this new deal with Uber, speaks volumes. This company is Oro Mobility. We're going to talk about Oro Mobility in great detail. Who is Oro Mobility? What do they offer? Why are they so important? What is their place in the future of this multi-trillion-dollar industry? Why will early investors in Oro Mobility stand to make minimum of 100% gains, if not 300, 500, 600, 800% gains? A lot of gains. And if Oro Mobility is not on the stock market as a publicly traded company, how do I invest in it? Well, Oro Mobility is owned by Hertz. Hertz is on the stock market, and their ticker symbol is HTZ. Hertz is no longer a car rental company / selling used cars from, rotating that fleet of the car rentals. Now they are a car rental company. Now they are a company that sells used cars, leases cars, but also generates revenue from ride-hailing, maintaining and being the backbone of the future mobility, and in the future, robo-taxis. But that's further out. So Oro Mobility was launched on April 30th, 2026, is a Hertz global strategic operating affiliate purpose-built to manage fleets of both driver-led and fully autonomous vehicles. So let me make this clear again. The future mobility in major cities will primarily be of ride services that people will pay for, whether the car is running on its own, robo-taxis, or it has a human driver ride-hailing. The first flagship partnership for mobility is, like I said, with Uber Technologies. For the job that Oro Mobility has been hired is to maintain Uber's robo-taxi services. So Oro Mobility will be in charge 24 hours, 24/7 around the clock to charge the vehicles, keep them running, maintain them, if they have any issues to be fixed, cleaned, operational. So the attributes, the legal name of the company is Oro Mobility. The launch date, as you can see, was April 30th, 2026. The parent company is Hertz. The corporate structure of the company is separate operating affiliate. The headquarters are in Florida. Primary business is end-to-end. This is very important, guys, for Oro Mobility. They are end-to-end fleet management for driver-led and autonomous vehicle program. Their first major partner is Uber Technologies. Their active markets for now are San Francisco, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and soon to come online is New Jersey and more in the pipeline. I also talk about Hertz, who they are, right? When they were founded, what happened to Hertz. It's very important to see something right here. Let me see if I can zoom in. Hertz was founded in 1918 and is one of the world's largest vehicle fleet operators. For decades, Hertz has been renting cars. They have spots all over the world, all over the United States. They have thousands and thousands and thousands of vehicles. They are experts by now in how to maintain this complete, complicated structure of vehicles all over the place, right? Just in the United States alone, Hertz has over 500,000 vehicles. They've become experts in maintaining them, keeping them on the road, cleaning, staffing, everything, right? So it's super important. In 2020, COVID-19 hit, and Hertz, just like every car rental company and every single store, had to shut down by law. This created a problem for Hertz. They couldn't operate, and they already had massive debt. And that meant that they had to go bankrupt, unfortunately. They came out of bankruptcy with $5 billion less of debt that was forgiven. But the key part here is this. When they came out of bankruptcy, they came out of bankruptcy with two big new investors that took 41% stake in Hertz. These two investors are key because they created what is now the new transformation of what Hertz is. They decided that Hertz should no longer be just a car rental company. They know exactly what the new mobility sector in the United States is, so they took 41% stake, and those are, as you can see here, Knighthead Capital Management and Certares Management. These companies are event-driven, deep value investors. They are firms that specialize in restructuring situations, and the most important part, long-term turnaround. Their plan from the beginning when they took part was that they will change Hertz into not being a rental car company anymore. And now we see that. They created Oro Mobility from scratch. It didn't exist before. They gave us shareholders a whole new revenue for the company that we never could have thought about. Who would have thought that Hertz would be a company that would maintain the fleet of robo-taxis, that would have partnerships with Uber, right? Those things, you couldn't have thought about back in 2019 or 2018. So now we have new revenue streams. Now we have a company that should be growing and is growing. So the future is going to obviously show that Hertz is going to be a company with a bigger market cap, with a better balance sheet. What happens then? The stock was up. Who decided last year that, you know what Knighthead Capital Management has laid out, what Certares Management has laid out, what the new CEO that they placed, Gil West, all three of these key pieces, who agreed with these three key pieces in the plan that they have laid out? Bill Ackman. And Bill Ackman took like a 20% stake last year. All the pieces there. So what does Oro Mobility offer, which is very important? They offer two business lines. Oro operates two structurally distinct but complementary fleet management programs. So the first business line is that Oro Mobility has a managed rideshare fleet, driver-led. In this program, Oro employs drivers directly, providing them with company-owned vehicles, fuel, insurance, and operates those drivers on Uber's platform. Because Uber is a marketplace. It is a marketplace where Waymo can put its vehicles to, that you can call to pick you up at the airport, whatever. It is a marketplace where Oro Mobility and anybody else can put their vehicles. Rather than an independent contractor model that Uber employs, Oro Mobility has decided that it wants to own its drivers. By the way, if anyone's interested, Oro Mobility's website right now is hiring drivers in select cities that they are going to open up this year. New Jersey being one of those. This is not a fleet management. The ride-hailing part of Oro Mobility is not managing somebody else's fleet. This is Oro Mobility being independent on its own. This is Oro Mobility all on its own, end-to-end ride-hailing services, all the revenue for Oro Mobility. So this is good for Hertz shareholders. Business line number 2 is the autonomous vehicle fleet management for whoever has AV fleet. So if Alphabet wants, if they're not happy with Avis in the future, they can go with Oro Mobility. Uber created their own AV fleet, the Uber platform, the vehicles that they bought, Lucid, and then they say, well, we need the technology because we don't have technology. We'll take Neuro AI and put it on the vehicles we just bought, but it needs to be managed. Who's going to do it? We'll do it with Oro Mobility. A link in the description of this video will exist where you can click and download the full report and read it on your own time. This is significant because it positions Oro as the essential orchestration layer between technology and hardware and the mobility demand platforms such as Uber. In this section of my report, I have the understanding the roles in the AV ecosystem. So that's very important to look at. We're going to kind of skip this part for now. Waymo being the benchmark, I explained the reasons why, but it's also very important to understand why Waymo is the benchmark, because understanding that will actually help you understand and believe more in Oro Mobility. Uber, the demand aggregator betting on supply diversity. We'll talk about where Oro fits the missing operational layer. Hertz CEO Gil West has described Oro as filling a critical orchestration and operations gap in the mobility ecosystem. This is the most important frame for understanding Oro's value proposition. As fleets of AVs scale from 100 vehicles to 10,000 vehicles to 100,000 vehicles, someone must handle the unglamorous but essential physical operations. Where do cars go overnight? Who charges them? Who repairs them? The sensor array that needs repairing. LiDAR units if they fail. Who manages the depot staff? How are maintenance cycles scheduled to maximize uptime? All of that. That's the backbone of mobility. So this is precisely what Hertz has done with its rental fleet for over a century. Oro's pitch is that those skills, discipline, fleet management at massive scale, are directly transferable to the EV era. There is this bull case in the picks and shovels play that I wanted to highlight, and this is right here. It's pretty cool. And it basically says that in the gold rushes, people who consistently made money were not always the miners. They were the companies selling the picks and shovels and logistics. Those companies in the gold rush made more money. In the robotaxi era of the future, just 8 years from now, Oro will be positioned as the picks and shovels provider. My report also goes in great detail about the Lucid Neuro Uber robotaxi ecosystem, which is obviously important to know. Let's look at some recent news and analysis. On April 30, 2026, Oro Mobility launches, and it launches instantly with a partnership with Uber. On May 7, 2026, we had the Hertz report, which was very important. Oro Mobility is already working because Hertz reported Q1 2026 revenue of $2 billion, which was an 11% year-over-year increase, which was the strongest growth in 3 years. And CEO Gil West noted that the Oro launch marks an important milestone in the expansion of the Hertz growth platform. For now, the hybrid model, human plus autonomous, is what is going to be part of the multi-trillion-dollar mobility industry within the next decade. After that, probably, I'm guessing, because companies get a bit greedy, they will start removing the human-led drivers and replacing them with robotaxis. So the near-term competitive landscape is not a binary choice between all human and all autonomous fleets. The most durable model, and the one Uber is explicitly building, is a hybrid network where human driver rideshare, including Oro's management driver-led fleet, and robotaxis coexist in the same platform. We go on in this report to cover also technology agnostic, which equals multiple client potential. So Oro's business model does not require specific AV technology to win, which is very key. It's awesome. They can, work with any AV technology. So whether the AV era is dominated by Neuro or Waymo or Tesla or anybody else, or can theoretically serve any of them. The analyst is saying hold, but I say, personally speaking, for me, I'm telling myself to buy. The reason why I'm saying buy for me is because by the time the analysts say, "Oh yeah, it worked out. It's looking great," now I can say that I'm going to give a buy rating for Hertz. Hertz will probably already be a $10 stock, if not more. Why should I wait to buy then? I'm going to take the position now because I've done the report, I've done the research. This 27-page report plus another prior 30-page report that I've done a YouTube video on. If you guys want both reports, I can leave links for both. And so I've done my research. I believe that Oro Mobility is a key part of why Hertz is going to grow as a stock. So I'm in now, right? I'm not going to wait for Hertz to go to $15 to get the general okay from everybody that now everything is working. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about Oro Mobility after, of course, you do your own research and your own homework. Do you think that Oro Mobility will succeed? Like I said, end-to-end, their owned driver-led fleet service is going live. It's already live in 2 cities, and it's going live on a 3rd city soon, and then it's going to expand to more and more cities each year. So that's a very big positive for Hertz. They are now officially a ride-hailing service company. And then for the robotaxi service, Hertz is aiming on becoming a fleet operation management service through Oro Mobility's second business line. There's a lot of positives. There's a lot of great things. The mobility industry, in my first report, I showed you in great details why it's going to become a multi-trillion-dollar business within the next 8 years. If you like this video, if you like the research that I have done, please help me subscribe to this channel. It's free and it helps me because I spend a lot of time coming up with these research reports, which I think will help in the end people if they agree and and the report is right. They're gonna make money. I wish you all the best and take care.